So we're getting ready to reopen the church just for private prayer at the moment. Here's a few things that might help you, and we'll have a little look inside our new COVID-secure church. Firstly, just a quick reminder that if you have any symptoms of coronavirus, if you have a cough, if you have a high temperature, or if you have a loss of a sense of taste or smell, or if anybody in your house has any of these symptoms, you should stay at home for the time being and seek advice from NHS 111. Outside the church, you might notice the doors are going to be propped open, so you don't have to touch the door handles. We'll go inside, but before we do, a quick reminder that out on the car park too, you need to keep 2 metre distance from everyone at all times. It's going to be very tempting. You might bump into someone you've not seen for weeks on end. Let's keep a safe distance apart from each other so that everybody stays safe. When you come inside the church, you'll be greeted by a steward who'll be able to help if there's anything that you need to know. There's some hand sanitizer here, which you must use when you come into the church and when you leave as well. And you might also notice that everything's been stripped back a little bit. So we don't have, for example, the CTS racks and things at the moment, magazines, newspapers. There's nothing like that just at the moment, so that we can keep everything nice and clean. Inside the church, there's a one-way system. So you'll come in through the main doors, go down the centre aisle and find your place. And then when you're ready to leave, you'll go out through the emergency exits. You'll notice that many of the benches have been taped off to make sure that we all keep 2 metres apart. And on the benches that we can use, there are tape markings to show where you can and can't sit. So please don't sit anywhere where there is tape on the bench itself. In the gaps between the tape, you're fine. So you're okay here, and you're okay here, but please don't sit here. This front bench on the front side of the church doesn't have any tape markings on it, and that's so that a family group can come and sit here. So if you're in the same household or in the same support bubble, you can sit here with the other people who are part of your household. And likewise, there are some benches like this one, which are suitable for 2 or 3 people from the same household or support bubble. If you use a wheelchair, there's a place here over by the font, which is marked out for you, and where you'll be at a safe distance from everybody else. If you'd like to light a candle in the church, that's absolutely fine, but there are no tapers or lighters here. That's to make sure that we're not all touching the same thing. So you can just take a candle and light one candle from another. Just bear in mind that you shouldn't have any alcohol gel on your hands. It's very flammable, so make sure that any hand sanitizer is completely dry before you come near the candles. Whenever the church is open for visitors, the windows are going to be open too. That's to give us maximum ventilation, which is the safest way. But it does mean if the temperature falls outside, it may get a little bit chilly in here. So please bear that in mind before you come. I know that for some people, the benches are a little bit low and it can be hard to get up, and so you use a cushion or two just to raise the height a little bit. Unfortunately, we've had to remove all of the cushions that are normally in the church. That's because it's hard to clean them between visits. But you can bring your own if you'd like to and take it away with you afterwards, obviously. Or there are a couple of plastic chairs at the back of the church which you're welcome to use as well. Inside the church, please try to avoid touching any surfaces that you don't need to touch. It's fine where you are sitting, you need to be comfortable obviously, but in other parts of the church, please don't touch anything if you can avoid it, and especially we ask that you don't venerate statues or images at this time. And at the end of your visit, please use the emergency doors to leave the church, and don't forget to sanitize your hands on the way out. Just 1 or 2 final things. Some people have asked me, do we need to wear a face mask when you come into the church? You don't need to wear a face mask. If you'd like to have some kind of face covering, that's up to you. You're welcome to do so, but there's no requirement. We'll all be 2 meters apart at all times, so it should be quite safe. Also, just to mention that because of all of this, we can't fit anywhere near as many people into the church. And that means if it gets really busy, if lots of people turn up at once, there is just a possibility that people may be asked to wait outside until there's space in the church. So please bear that in mind as well. These last few weeks when our churches have been closed, even for private prayer, have been a really painful time for so many people. So it's wonderful that we can open up again, and you'll have the opportunity to come and spend a little bit of time here in the Lord's presence. Jesus is waiting for you. It'll be a beautiful thing to be reunited with him.